Well, first we have to talk about why would these people want to do this? It's about control.
Hmm.
The government's about to do it. They're gonna seize the money. Digital dollars is about to happen. How do you keep yourself safe? How do you avoid being on their radar? All right. So how was that intro? I sounded like one of those YouTube guys.
Yeah.
All right. All right. This is real serious. This is real serious. I did want to have a kind of dramatic cold open, but I also don't want to spread fear. It is a real concern. The president has already signed an executive order in July that opens up the door, paves the way for a digital dollar, right? So that is already in motion. The legal framework is there. There have been numerous reports that I have read personally that expect that in 2023 is when the switch will happen. And you were saying off camera, there'd have to be some crisis.
Yeah, I feel like if the president tomorrow said, "Hey, February 28th, we're going digital," I don't think that would work as that well. But I mean,
But if you have a whole bunch of inflation,
they are manufacturing a food and financial crisis, and I think that's what it would have to be
yeah.
off the back of that.
Yeah, and it starts getting out. We need to do this to get control of whatever.
Yeah, you need people to be scared enough to where they actually ask the government to do this instead of the government telling them.
And I'll tell you what, I'm going to make a prediction, right? You know me, predictions. I don't often give those.
Yeah.
All right, here's a prediction. What they're going to do is tell us that the rich people are avoiding their taxes, and this is a way to track all expenditure. So you have to give up your liberty with that paper money and go digital so they can make sure the rich people are paying their taxes. They're going to say it. That's how they're going to sell it.
People are dumb.
And people are going to be like, "Oh yeah,
oh yeah,
gotta get that rich man. He's moving his money offshore. And yeah, I'll give up my liberty so we can screw him." That's what's going to happen. I think that's how they're going to sell it. In addition to the crisis that they are manufacturing, but we kind of mentioned this on a different video. I mean, the big thing is now every purchase, the government can watch you, and this is why they're doing this. It's not about fiscal responsibility. What's it about?
That's all control.
It's about control, telling you what you can do, what you can think, what you can buy.
Well, we even saw credit card companies were getting in trouble earlier this year because they're basically
Last year.
tracking.
It's January
Last
1.
year, yeah, tracking gun and ammo purchases.
Yeah.
And trying to and talking about restricting it, and certain states started cracking down on that.
Yeah.
So these private companies are already looking for opportunities to screw over people buying guns and ammo.
And we know China uses a social credit score, and there have been people in the U.S. government that have talked about you doing that here.
And on a separate note, that's why I think the big push to electric vehicles. If you're driving electric or even just smart vehicles in general now,
and smart homes too.
Yeah, because they can shut off your vehicle, even the non-electric. Most of any vehicle basically that's got these safety systems in there, they could just turn off your vehicle. Oh, you're not allowed to drive. You can only drive 30 miles a day. Same thing with your during one of the big freezes where the power company was lowering people's thermostats.
I know.
You don't get to. You don't get to be warm. You don't get to be warm.
It already happens. So we want to talk about digital obscurity, and what I mean by that is because the government will use this system to try to single out people. All right, the government's not big enough to go after everybody at once. They're going to try to single out non-compliant people, and there's going to be some people. I'm going to stand up there and I'm going to resist the government with all my might. And you know what? More power to you, buddy. One-on-one against the government, you're going to lose. That's not what we're talking about. We've never talked about active resistance, armed resistance against the government. If that happens, that happens. You know, Boston Tea Party and all that other good stuff. Right? No, what we're talking about is staying off the government's radar. You know, I don't want them knocking on my door. I don't, and so digital obscurity. What are some of the things that if you were the government, that you say, I want those prepper guys? What are some of those things? We all know tactical guns, ammo, body armor.
Tactical stuff
I just bought night vision scope, and okay, that's one thing. What else?
Long-term food storage, like your freeze-dried stuff.
Oh yeah. I mean, who buys that? Who buys 25 years? We do.
Yeah.
Right, people like us, and All right, water filters.
Yep, water filtration.
You know, and there's see now here's the thing. I know what you're thinking. One of you guys, two of you guys, three of you now have thought this. All right, a lot of people buy water filters. All right, now here's what they're going to do. I think what they're going to do is they're going to have an algorithm, and it's going to look for multiple hits. If they have 10 items on their list, they will look. They'll even have them weighted. This guy has tactical, and has got solar panels, right? And has got water filtration, and survival seeds is another one's got survival seeds. All right, so think about these things that are pretty unique to our community, pretty unique to people who want to be self-reliant. Okay.
Yeah, it's pretty simple.
Regular seeds is not going to be an issue
Yeah.
because lots of people have regular seeds.
No, and you have a computer algorithm and AI and all that.
Yeah.
It's we'll look for certain patterns and purchases, and let's say you got 10 criteria, and this guy's got to hit 5 out of 10, 8 out of 10.
Yeah.
It'll rank them. Those people get put in a separate list, and then
Get prioritized.
Yeah, and then off of that list, now you can have the algorithm start looking for keywords and searches and whatnot, and social media and YouTube and whatnot. And then those people get filled. So okay, now we got people making these purchases, and then we got someone who is watching prepping videos, and it's on these Facebook groups, and then they get put into a smaller list.
So this is actually not crazy talk. You think some of you guys might think, even some guys, these crazy strategic prepper guys have gone off the rails. These are things that the people, the elites, I call them the elites because they're not just Democrats or Republicans. They're globalists. They're people that believe in the autocratic system. They're the elites. They think they ought to be in charge. These people have already said these things. They published these plans. We read these and we're like, oh my gosh. And they do things like with the president's executive order in July. They do these things to put their dreams, their plans into place. Right? You're going to own nothing and learn to love it. I mean, we've all heard that now. That was a year ago in Davos, right? Was it a year ago? Was it 2? It seems like 2 years now.
I think it was 2 years ago.
But I think it was a year ago.
The World Economic Forum guy.
Yeah,
What's
exactly.
His name?
These people have a vision, and it's not a good vision for us. And so these are the things that we can do. Avoid certain purchases. That means if you are looking at your preparedness plans and you're like, I'm a little short. You always talk about assessing where you're at, where you need to be, right?
Yeah.
And if you're a little short on something that you think would be a high priority on this list, maybe you need to expedite that before.
You want some more
before this
guns
type of
or
truck.
armor or ammo or
Make a plan to go get it.
freeze-dried food.
Yeah. Make a plan
You'd want to buy that before
before things go
switch.
digital. Yeah. So I mean that's a big thing that we can do. Go get one of those credit cards that you can go at the drugstore. What do they call them? Credit cards that you not have your name, like a debit card.
Oh, like the prepaid Visa cards?
Yeah, you can go get yourself a prepaid Visa card. Doesn't have your name on it. Load it up, and then make some purchase. You can do that now. Those days are they're coming to a close. They're
At some
coming
point,
to a close.
yeah. Because they keep talking about it. We see China and we see other European countries, and things are moving in that direction.
Yeah.
They're saying they're going to do it. There's no reason not to believe them. If you look historically, they tend to tell the truth when they tell you what they want to do and how they want to run your life.
Exactly.
They're typically not lying, and they're not just blowing smoke up your butt either.
Now I want to bring up another area.
Okay.
The mark of the beast.
Yeah, because everyone's always nervous about that. Remember we
The jab was the mark of the beast and all that.
well, and then like even security systems. So right now you can buy gun safes that scan the veins in your hand, and we've been familiar with that technology for security systems
Right.
for a while. And but people would some people wouldn't want to use that because they thought it was mark of the beast. So there's always people are hypersensitive about that. And I'm not saying right, wrong, or indifferent. It's just, but it's a big topic.
Yes.
So if we switch to digital, is that the mark of the beast?
So actually, we have a video that we actually explain that whole end times in the Bible. So we'll have a link to that. But mark of the beast. We're talking about the biblical mark of the beast in Revelation, chapter 13, and where the Bible says if you get that mark, you cannot enter the kingdom of heaven. Right. So that mark of the beast. Okay, from the Antichrist. Okay, so that has got to be a mark on the right hand or on the forehead. Okay, so now I do think that digital dollar is a prelude to that, but my personal view, up to that point where there's a mark on my hand, I will not take a mark on my hand or a chip on my hand or
Which,
forehead.
quick caveat, that's already a thing, in case you guys didn't know. You can get implants in your hands to do quick pay and all that.
Yeah, absolutely. You
Like, that's
can.
not new. It's been around for like a
Yes.
while now.
But I won't do that. That's
Yeah.
that's the line I will not cross. If it's on my iPhone and I just scan this or scan that, just because it's getting closer doesn't mean that it's at that issue. So
Yeah.
at that point, so if you're concerned about this being the mark of the beast, the Bible's really clear. It's a mark on the right hand or on the forehead, and anything short of that, you can participate. Just be aware. Be aware that this is a step in that direction. And I personally think that they are going to try to keep this as problem-free as possible because
Yeah.
they want acceptance.
Yeah, they want people to do it, and so yeah, you manufacture a crisis
To get them to take the dollar.
People will beg for you to do it. You make it easy. You give people incentives, right? It's just like, we want you to buy electric cars, so we give you a tax credit. We want you to get the jab, so you get a free donut. Whatever.
Right.
Okay.
But at one point, they will have the system in
Yep.
place, and they will have weeded out people who resist. And then when they make that, they'll manufacture another crisis. Maybe people stealing your IDs or whatever.
Yeah.
They'll come up with something, and then they're going to switch to the implants.
Yep.
And you're already hooked. At that point, you're already hooked
Yep.
on the system. That's what self-reliance is about: is to never be hooked on that digital system.
Mm-hmm.
So things that you can do on your own. That's where we want to get. That's what we always strive to that.
Mm-hmm.
How much can I do on my own without needing the greater financial system?
Mm-hmm.
And so that's what we're talking about.
Yeah. So yeah, and if they move to the big thing, just to recap, is if they when we move to the digital system, is understanding what would be these high these items that would
These
get
flag
you flagged.
items.
Yeah,
Items that get you flagged.
Get those major purchases done beforehand.
Before.
So let's say I want 10,000 rounds. Well, let's say you only have 5. Well, you better buy those 5 before. Whenever that switch happens,
Yeah.
you want to buy that before. If you're low on your long-term food storage, you want to buy that before.
Right.
Start identifying these high-profile items, and you'd want that done before the switch.
Yeah, make no bones about it. It's about control. It's not about the money. It's about control. And those are the things they're going to look for. And they have already indicated that this is their aim. So we tend to believe them.
Yeah.
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 All right. So we want you guys to stay tuned. We're going to keep you guys up to date as we learn more, as they reveal more of their plan, their hand. We keep an eye out. We're going to let you know. So until then, stay safe, stay prepared.